Fiddle again.
Good evening. Good evening.
Where did we all at? You disappeared there. I don't know where you were. I thought you were away celebrating England's triumph. England won the World Cup about 8 times there. A couple of times they won the European Champ, and I think polo, snooker, and pool World Championships all won at once there. So if you listen to the commentators,
Polar football.
lethal.
Now, we have Jarlath Watson and Michael McKeown joining us tonight. And why are they joining us, Marty?
Well, this week we've done things a little bit different this week because we had to bring on 2 very special guests because there's been a marriage between. I like to call them the Lazarus brands. All these guys back from the grave. We have Dunvilles, we have O'Cumber back again, and now Matt Darcy, and they've all become harmonious unity. That's a good way of putting it.
I thought you were going to say humongous.
Well, fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. Michael, Jarlath, how are we, guys?
Best.
All good morning, Justin. All good.
Excellent. Now, I was scrolling through Facebook and social media this week, and up pops that there's a partnership has been formed. And I thought it would be interesting to come on, you guys fill us in on a bit more of the details, because it's a little bit of a funnier one. It's not like somebody has just taken over and bought the thing, and it's So what happened, or how did this come about?
Well, I was the needy one.
You were. Michael, I don't think that's ever been the case, mate. I don't think that's ever been the case.
I spent the last. It actually worked out. I had been working for a year after thought I was retired, and this time last year I had to start all over again. But I've been working for that year, and one of the things I discovered is it's going to be damned hard for anybody to get themselves recognized and spotted in the market. And I don't mean by your efforts of publicity or otherwise, but when you get into the mechanics of it,
yeah,
it's very difficult to have a small operation meeting the logistical needs. And one of the problems that we were running into over the last year was bottling, to find somebody to bottle. Now, that might be cured shortly if these people in Dundalk get off the ground or whatever, but the first thing is you need to find bottling, and you're not going to put in your own bottling plant. You're going to go around cap in hand begging people to bottle for you.
Yeah.
And we were moving into a phase of where we had prospective large orders coming, and my big concern was what are we going to do? Who's going to bottle this? And the next thing why he says, yes, everybody small is going to be very needy. We got interest, an outlet in the US, and then I started to realize that just to maintain your presence in the US, not to send anything, not to do anything, but it was going to cost you between 2,000 and 5,000 quid a month to keep a connection with an importer, and that's before you did any marketing, whatever. And I thought, hold on a minute here, there must be economies of scale here. Somebody who already has these could help to get somebody else in, and that all be paying just the 5,000 a month or 10,000 a month, whatever it happens to be, between them. But you couldn't go with a small brand and expect to make any profit if you were paying all these fixed costs. Then you're into the warehousing costs, then you're into board, and you find the same thing in each country you go to. So I had in my head that I wasn't going to succeed if I couldn't find a way of getting into some sort of larger entity. And that's where part of my it went to. The other thing was that I realized that we were bottling last year. We bottled 17-year-old, and when I looked at the stocks, we have enough to put out 18-year-old, 19-year-old, 20-year-old, 21-year-old, 22-year-old, 23-year-old, 24-year-old, 25-year-old, and 35-year-old whiskey. And I said, hold on a minute, I'd definitely be dead before all that's done. so that led me to realize I needed to offload some of this stock.
And So what you did was you looked across and saw some guys that have trailblazed in front of you, maybe.
Well, one of the things looking back now, I realised was that I actually started the chat with Jarlath about taking some of the older stock from us. But I got very surprised. The first day we went to meet Shane Braniff, I'd never met him before. I'd heard of him, but I'd never met him. But Jarlath arranged for us to meet Shane Braniff, and I can tell you what date it was. It was the 28th of the 4th. And the reason I can tell you is this is the signed bottle, the handshake deal.
Absolutely.
That's the agreement just there.
Signed across the back of the label, Shane Braniff, Michael McKeown.
Is that the contract, is it?
That's the contract there.
And that was the contract before that Jarlath fella got involved.
I tell you honestly, it heartened me no end to see this tie up, because it's nice that small guys helping each other out. You know, that's what it should be all about. And I'm not saying anybody's small, but I mean, in comparison,
I'm going to put the hands up and say we're small.
Jarlath, is this the start of consolidation in the sort of county down whiskey industry then?
I don't know. Well, I mean, do you know what? There's going to be consolidation in the industry, that's for sure. Do you know? I mean, maybe
absolutely.
Maybe this one happened a bit sooner than we thought that we'd be consolidating with anybody. But like Michael says, we got onto a call start of April, halfway through April, led to a few meetings, and it started off about something else. It started off about aged stocks, and the more we talk, there's a different plan, you know, and the plan was that, you know, we bring Matt Darcy's into the Echlinville fold. It suits our portfolio, you know. Shane's mad for collecting old brands, you know, so it doesn't, you know, and
it's funny because I know another boy that's something similar. Down in your age.
It gives that lovely trinity now in Echlinville of Dunville's, Old Trumber, and Matt Darcy's. Yeah. And it's one that I know that can slot into our portfolio. You know, the liquid is good in the bottle, you know, and that's first. I mean, it's a good brand. Mm-hmm. The liquid in the bottle is good, and if you've got those two fundamentals, you know, you've got the basis of something that's going to work, and that's what we have, you know. And I think it sits well with Dunville's and Old Trumber. It's a slightly different animal again, you know. It'll be a different liquid profile, different finish profile. We've yet to get the finer details of that, you know, but we know we can do it. And like I say, Michael's done a great job, you know, with the brand to date. You know, it's a hard one. I mean, if you weren't a certain size before COVID struck, it's hard to go over that hump, you know, because you can't get meetings, you can't travel. It's even hard getting liquid on lips. You can't do physical tastings, you know. There's only so much you can stress online. So, you know, it's a hard position to be in. I know that we can, you know, that working together, we can do stuff with it. Because like I say, the fundamentals are in place. You've got a great brand and you get good liquid, and everything else, you know, is just hard work then, you know. So yeah, personally, I think that's enough for us now. You know, I think if we've done those,
things have moved quite rapidly for you in the last month or two.
In the last year, I mean, it was what, 5 weeks ago we were talking about Old Trumber, and I knew that this was in the background, but do you know what? Nothing's done until it's done.
No.
You know, so we were both very quiet about it because, you know, nothing's done until it's done. But now that it's done, delighted, you know. I mean, I think, you know, it is a bit of consolidation, but it makes sense for both parties, you know. In this one, you know, I think it's a case where, like a good whiskey, both constituent parts, the sum is stronger than the constituent parts, you know, and I think that's the basis of it.
Well, the thing about whiskey is whiskey's all about stories, and you guys both. I mean, Shane and Jarlath and Michael. I mean, you have taken that old story and carried it forward to today, but now you're kind of making a brand new story out of it, and it is all about this partnership, because it's an interesting thing that you have done, because it's not a takeover. Michael hasn't totally abandoned it to say I'm away. You know, there's a bit of different dynamics there. So what could you explain that to the guys?
Well, probably as much as we can. You know, I mean, there's Echlinville takes over the production, the whole production side of it, and the brand is a partnership. You know, so we work together on the branding, on the marketing, and especially
Distribution.
on the distribution, especially on the international side. But if Michael does bring contacts, you know, I mean, he says that, you know, Michael brings more contacts than he lets on. You know, so there's going to be a bit of consolidation there or not. But yeah, I mean, obviously it makes sense to bring all the production, bottling, packaging, distribution, et cetera, down to Echlinville.
Yeah.
That's what we do. That's one thing we do. You know, we'll if any of the branding needs a revamp, we can get Mark Thompson on that. You know, Mark just loves working with these old historic brands, as you know, Marty, and does an absolutely fantastic job with them,
listen,
you know, with Shane. So I think the first time you get Shane, Mark, and Michael in the room is going to be an interesting morning. Or 2 days.
Well, I mean, the thing is, I mean, you know, I've always said the labeling on Dunville's is just fabulous. It's just always been head and shoulders. It's just superb. And when Michael comes up, stuff out of the book and comes out with the labels, and Mark gets his interpretations on them, it'll be beautiful to see. It really will be.
And Mark and Shane and Michael too, they're all very sympathetic to the old branding and to the old, and you know, it's very, very small tweaks. It's very, very small modernizations, but it's still very much, I mean, that Dunville's label is still very true to the label from the 1880s, 1890s, you know, but before that, and I think that's the, you know, that's the key to it. You know, if it's not broke, don't change it.
No, I mean, I've told you 100 times before, the labeling's just out of this world. But Michael,
yes,
you're in some ways you're handing over a little bit of your, you know, the flame over the other guys to move on. But I mean, you haven't given it up completely. The distillery and stuff's going to be
well, the first thing, I know I'm not describing it right, but I feel that I have dumped all the donkey work. It's this last year, I'm not sure how any of the smaller people, some of them must enjoy it. And if I was 40 years younger, as I was 50, when I was 50 years younger, I was bottling and labeling and standing stuff out in lorries. For the last year, I've been doing that and supervising accounts, all of it. I'm going to be really insulting to Jareth here. We're going to tell the story. You know about dollar time and penny tasks. You know, if somebody else can do something for a tenner an hour, but you could earn £100 an hour, oh God sake, give them all the work they can get, so that you can go on and do something else at £100 an hour. Well, all of those tasks that Dunville's, sorry, I'm calling them Dunville's now, Echlinville's, at Echlinville have already got well in place. Bookkeeping systems, bond stores, bond records, all that stuff is what you might call non-creative, and that's what they already have. But they also had Shane sitting there thinking out, what are we going to do next? And one of the things I have an awful thing to say in the airwaves, but against both of us, I said this to Shane the other day in a conversation. I have never been able to read anybody in my life. You know, people say, oh, I could read him. I have never been able to read anybody. But the day I met him, I could read him. Yeah. And I realized after a bit do you know what? He's as mad as I am.
I think there's a good synergy going on there, because the both of you have a real passion for this for the historic stuff.
Both of us had the same problem,
mm-hmm.
which he didn't admit was a problem, but because he was very loyal. I says, we've got the same problem. And he says, what's that? I says, Shane, anchors. People like Jareth are bloody anchors, reminding us of our responsibilities and the cost of things and how much it'll cost to do this. And if they weren't here, we could do anything we wanted.
You'd be one of the boys Jeff Bezos would be taking to the moon. You know, but no, the thing is, I talked to Jareth earlier about this, and it really does have a feel that both parties really benefit from this. It's not, it's a nice partnership and a progression, helping each other out. And, those guys look after that bit, you keep your hand doing this bit. And it just seems like a really nice, natural sort of tie-up. It's a nice thing.
We've had a couple of questions in, Michael and Jareth. Robert Gustafson's asked, Jareth particularly, with such a big portfolio, are there any plans for moving more into the EU and beyond the Republic of Ireland?
Short answer, yes. Yes. We're re-engaging with our distributors in Germany, Holland. We are appointing new guys in different markets. So I think, and obviously Stephen McGuinness has come on board with us last October, and him and Suzanne and Claire are really taking the game forward. So yeah, I think that by where are we at now? We're in June. Yeah, by September you're going to see the products relaunched in Germany, France, Italy, Holland, Belgium, Switzerland, and hopefully Scandinavian countries as well. Separate to that, then we're looking at South Africa and China as the next two markets that we're working on, and obviously America, Canada, etc. So yeah, you're going to see a lot of movement. Anywhere in particular, just let us know that you want it. But
I think he's in Scandinavia. Robert Gustafsson, is he Sweden or
Sweden?
Sweden. He is in Sweden. Yes, he is. And listen, Michael, you've got a question here, particularly for you. Seamus Tobin is asking, have you driven any of his tanks yet, Michael?
Any Shane's tanks?
No, I am a pacifist. Right?
You're a pacifist.
No, I don't believe that for a second, Michael. For 1 second, I believe that. I can see you and Shane in convoy just going up Great Victoria Street.
It was actually my third visit to them before I noticed the tank. And I was like, what's that over there?
You were that used to the streets of Belfast in the 1970s.
and then I decided not to mention it.
All right.
Yeah. Now, there's another question has come in there too. I just happened to know it was Graham Horner.
Oh, I can't see. Oh, I can see that. And yes, any word in the next batch of Old Cumber, Marty? Yes.
Don't ask me. I know nothing about it.
Marty, come on. Graham. There's another 300 to 400 bottles going out. I'm going to say June, but June's over, so early July. We're just waiting on labels that should have been here a month ago, and then I think there'll be a further 3 cask, probably 1,000 bottle run, maybe about November, December time. It's a work in progress, as we know. We had to. It's a 2-year plan, 3-year plan, really. 2024 is the 200th anniversary of Old Cumber, and we hope to hit the 7-year-old core product by then. But we're just going to work up to it for the next couple of years with sporadic releases. But yeah, a few hundred bottles in July and then maybe 1,000 in December. But it's going to be like that for 2 years before we get to a core product.
Yeah, it's a great start. It's a great start. It's a great whiskey. It really is. But
and like I say, it's a different story. So you have that pot still story and double distilled pot still story.
Yeah.
With Old Cumber, with Dunvilles, you just have that sherry bomb and big sherry finishes. And then with Matt Darcy, if we can do something with a bit more, a lighter touch or a more deft touch, to the finishing, which is what Matt Darcy's have done well to date. So I think, that's where the three will play with each other.
Now, Michael, the actual distillery, I mean, the last time I spoke to you, you were talking about getting the distillery, getting the bar up and running and that. Is there any more progress with that? Where are we at with that?
Well, we're still waiting on building control to give us the final approval. We have tender documents, etc. already, but we can't put them out to anybody in case building control says, no, that steel should be thicker or that. But it came about when I spoke to you, it was like maybe in the autumn or early part of the year.
Mm-hmm.
We had just acquired an acre beside where we were. Yeah. But alongside that, we had, at the beginning of COVID, we'd taken a look at the economics of the operation and brought in a couple of consultant types. And it turned out that the whole layout was actually reducing the potential. So I had to do a rejigging of the layout. Then the rejigging of the layout brought me back into new fire controls. New fire controls brought me back into new building controls.
Just a domino effect.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
and I also think we're darn lucky we weren't trying to get it open in the middle of COVID.
Aye. Exactly.
So that it's been a blessed thing to miss that. So we're waiting now. I thought actually it should be in by the end of June, the building control, but it hasn't been finalised yet. When that happens, then we go back out with proper documents for tenders. Then we progress. So that's my next thing is, and a wee bit like what I just said there. I don't like the penny tasks. I don't like having to do things every day of the week. So I'm waiting to see, can I get somebody else to take over penny tasks.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
that's where we're at with that.
Yeah, so the plans have changed significantly, but not that significantly. So it's still all. You're still going to be the force behind it, shall we say?
Yeah.
Good. I'm glad.
Yeah.
Well, listen, it's been really lovely having you both on.
Nope.
Until I find another boy like Shane Branagh, I'm showing a set of plans, and he writes his name across the plans.
Guys, honestly, I saw this during the week, and I thought to myself, it's just a great tie-up, great guys, and a nice. It just seems like a nice way of doing things, a sort of gentleman's agreement, and I'm glad I got to see a signature in the back of a whiskey bottle as a thing. Now, Jarlath, Dunvilles, keep it going. Old Cumber, you've done a sterling work you started off with. Okay, it's a work in progress, but it's fabulous foundations. And now you've got Matt Darcy, who's 10-year-old podcast, great stuff, and the 17-year-old's great as well. That's out of this world. So yeah, guys, well done, and more power to you, and we'll hope to catch up with you again very shortly.
Yeah, Marty, Justin, always a pleasure. Have a good evening.
We'll try our best. Michael,
All right, we'll talk soon.
take care, guys.
Bye, Michael.
Thanks, boys. Bye.
Bye. Oh, what a wonderful crowd tonight again, Marty. What a wonderful crowd tonight
Absolutely
again. You know, it goes from strength to strength, the Irish whiskey industry, doesn't it?
It does, and the thing about it is, it's small. It's I'm going to do a wee story here in a wee minute or two about the about global whiskey sales and so on and so forth, and it's not a big industry. But when you get guys doing stuff like this and moving forward, and right, how do we help each other out and so on? Yeah,
there's James Moore Doherty saying, "Congratulations, Jonathan and Michael, great tie-up."
Absolutely.
That's a great endorsement. It is. It's a fantastic endorsement. I'm getting endorsed tonight too, Marty. Brim Lem says, Justin, been on the sunbeds.
Well, Justin and I were actually up in Belfast today. We got bought our lunch. It was rather nice. It was too, and we had a wee sort of dander about. We found ourselves walking down the Shankill Road just after a band parade to see a couple of things up there. Yeah, it was a good old day out. I got a wee touch of sun as well, but obviously not as shiny as Justin.
I know. I have the makeup girl. She puts the makeup on just before it's done. There you go. Listen, remember to comment, like, and share. If you haven't already, do subscribe on YouTube. Remember, we're on Instagram. We're on LinkedIn as well. We're being asked there by somebody, any word on the day out? It's still up in the air because not everywhere is open yet, Mark.
Not everywhere is open. We might get a wee scout out and see if we might do a wee scout out this week. It's kind of hard, guys, because the COVID regulations still state how many people, and if you're going to take a mini bus, it's only so many allowed in that. I mean, I was working on Thursday with a group of a cruise ship, full-size coach. You're only allowed. It was a 53-seater, and maximum you're allowed was 24 people on the coach. So,
and you're not allowed to talk or sit with each other.
No, well, I have to wear. I'd done 2 full tours. 4-hour tours, and I had to have a mask on the whole time because and I had to have a PCR test in the morning and so on and so forth. So just at the minute, I wouldn't want to do anything to jeopardise any tour out, and we want to take as many people as possible and have that. So just at the minute, sorry guys, but unfortunately that's just the way of the world at the minute, you know.
There you go. And then there's Robert Gustafson saying he's on the Billiken Poaching tonight. That's something that's what he's saying. There you go. Yeah, we may be going to the poaching factory.
Oh, we might be, but I also had a little taste of the smoky poaching this week. Yes.
Like the sound of that.
We do. Now, carrying on with the news, we've Jarlath and Michael, we've got all the news from them. Last week, we had an interview with Joe Hyman from Skinner's Auction Inc. about the Old Ingledew whiskey. Now, the estimate for it was between 30 and 40. Anybody who didn't see the show last week, it's a bottle. It was bottled in the 1860s. It was owned by J.P. Morgan.
My God.
And it was carbon dated, the liquid in it, to the late 1700s. Well, our estimate was 40,000, and it went for $137,500. Yeah. Now, including auction fees, that's going to be around $170,000, between $160,000 and $170,000 for that bottle. It's reckoned to be the oldest whiskey in existence known. It's a fabulous story, just a great story, and I would imagine you'll see that popping up at a museum somewhere. I can't see that going to a hotel or even a private collection. 170,000 goes to show you lots of people are investing in this stuff, and the museum quality stuff too.
Unbelievable.
Yeah,
unbelievable.
You know, it's not bad. There's a couple other really nice bottles in that auction. I can't watch it. But I still think the likes of, these old bottles of the peach brandy from California from 1900. I mean, you have to remember, California wasn't that long a state at that point. It wasn't that long populated, and might not taste the best, but that's a proper piece of history that you would have there. And they were selling them for a couple $100. But let's be honest, it's not a huge amount of money.
Right. What's next tonight, Marty? Where are we heading?
Well, there's a couple of reports out this week that are really quite interesting. And one was the Irish Whiskey Global Report, Irish Whiskey Global. And that was from the Irish Whiskey Association, compiled by the head of the association, William Lavelle, with the support from the International Trade Committee. Now, it's full of facts and stats about various bits and things. Top 20 sales markets for Irish whiskey. Number 1, USA. Number 2, Ireland, domestic market. Number 3, Russia. 4, the UK. And 5, Germany. Now, Germany drunk 436,000 9-litre cases. But the 20th biggest was Latvia with 20,000. Now, India is not even in the top 20. But Irish whiskey is in the discussions between the UK and India for the free trade talks. So that would, Northern Ireland being slightly different than everywhere else, you would have the likes of Echlinville and these guys with potentially getting access to the biggest whiskey market in the world. So there's lots of really interesting things. Now, Irish whiskey's benefiting from the EU-Canada deal. With Writer's Tears. I should have had a bottle of Writer's Tears up here because it is great whiskey. I love it. I think it's just very, very underrated in many ways. But they saw an increase of 84%. These kind of figures are colossal. When you're getting an 84% increase in sales, even if it's a small amount, it's still huge and great building blocks for everybody else.
The future certainly looks rosy for it, doesn't it? Is it going to surpass Scotland in the 10 years then? Because Scotland seems to not be resting on its laurels anymore.
No, I don't. Put it like this. We've both seen that figure. It's been talked about a few times on the show. Ireland's got a long way to go, and I'll prove that later on. Now, the Irish Whiskey Association is looking at reduction and removal of levies on spirits in southern African nations, Colombia, South Korea, Vietnam. They've pushed for bonded warehousing in Kenya, try and combat the illegal trade in Jordan, Hong Kong, Nigeria, Turkey. It's got 46 members, this organisation. And lots of the big players there. You know, Brown Foreman, Irish Distillers, all these guys. And Echlinville are there as well. And some of a lot of the smaller ones. But it's a nice tie-up. You know, it's good that the smaller guys are also part of the association and having a say, I'm sure. With that, the 46 members are having discussions on a very high level, overseeing the industry. It said 11.4 million cases sold. Now, that's the entire industry, essentially, in 2020. It's not huge. It's by any stretch of the imagination, because the Spirits Business website released its Brand Champions report. Now, this report lists the 150 best-selling spirits in the world. Vodka, tequila, whiskey, ready-to-drink stuff, etc., etc. Okay? The best-selling Irish whiskey, as we know, Jameson, is 28th on the list. 28th. Right?
Wow. Yep.
Tullamore Dew, now there's only 2 Irish whiskies named in this. In the top 150 spirits, there's only 2 Irish whiskies. And Tullamore Dew is second with 136th place. Okay? You know, whenever you were doing remember the old top 40 on a Sunday night, you know, you would barely get a mention in any of the Irish whiskey ones, but barely get a mention by Bruno Brooks. The best-selling spirit in the world is Genru Sochu. Okay?
Right? Is this it here?
That's it. That's the best-selling spirit in the world. How many cases of that do you think was sold?
A billion.
No, don't be. Not a billion 9-litre cases.
Oh, no.
9 billion litres. No, don't be.
200 million.
No, hang on, Justin. The entire Irish whiskey industry, so Irish Distillers, Bushmills, Tullamore, West Cork, Walsh Distillery, all of those combined sold 11.4 million cases. That sold 95.3. That's one brand, right? So almost heading towards 100 million 9-litre cases. 900 million litres.
So that's a tenth of a billion, is it?
Yeah. Now that's twice. That's twice what is number 2 sold. Number 2 was a bit of a strange one, because in 2016 they sold 300,000 9-litre cases of this stuff. 2019 they sold 24.4 million cases, and last year it saw an increase of 140%.
That was lockdown did that, but wasn't it?
That was up to 58.5. That's that White Claw hard seltzer stuff. So White Claw hard seltzer is now the second best selling spirit in the world, ready to drink tins.
Is this why Killowen's bought out these seltzers then? Because
I'm going to say yes.
That's
one brand, mate. That's one brand. That's not the whole ready to drink market. That's one brand. It's now selling 54 million cases of this.
Have you ever tried that White Claw?
No.
Would you ever want to try it?
No, I would try it, absolutely. But well, I don't know. I'll give it a word. Sure, we'll try. I have a Killowen here as well, and we'll give it a wee whirl and see what I think after we've finished this.
Yeah.
Now, top 10 on that list. So 4 whiskies, all of them Indian. All of them Indian. Madole's number 1. Madole's number 1. 25.7 million cases. I mean, that's just incredible figures.
Do I have a picture for that one, do you?
You should do.
I think I do.
You do indeed.
There I do.
Best selling whiskey in the world now.
Classy looking bottle. Nice design.
Probably
looks
not great, but it's like this. That bottle, that one brand, has sold twice what the entire Irish whiskey industry sold.
Would that be would that be a real whiskey by Irish standards?
Debatable. It probably wouldn't be aged long enough, if I'm honest.
Mm-hmm.
But the Indian whiskies age really, really quickly. But there's a few other interesting facts as well. Johnny Walker slumped down to 14.1 million cases, which is a big drop for them. Jack Daniels are down to 12.3 million cases, but in this, Jack Daniels makes 4 appearances because 3 of the things that are there are flavoured whiskies. So you have Jack Daniels was named 4 times in the top 150. And when you look at it, there's lots of these ready-to-drink drinks appearing. There's a few flavoured whiskies coming in, a few flavoured spirits coming in. So it's interesting. There's a big change sort of happening, big changes. But if Irish whiskey was taken as a whole, it would only be sitting at 17th in the spirits trade.
Wow.
So it would barely be making it into the top 20, and that's all of Irish whiskey. So when people talk about there not being room for growth or where do they get traction and so on, I mean, the spirits trade is just enormous. So if the Irish guys keep doing what they're doing, keep the quality up, keep bringing out good quality stuff, there's no reason in the world they can't grow. And they don't have to grow by massive percentages to really make a difference there,
No. Without a doubt, they don't. Now, what else we've got? Because this is like one big This Week in Whiskey this week. There's so much going on, isn't it?
Well, it kind of is. Whenever we heard the news about the tie-up between that, we thought, well, we'll bring 2 old friends back in and get a yarn with them. But today is the 21st anniversary of the death of one of the truly great sportsmen, one of the true gentlemen in history. I defy anybody to tell me anything bad about Joey Dunlop, the legendary motorcyclist from Armoy, from just up the road from me. Now, he's dead 21 years.
Hard to believe, Marty. Hard to believe.
I don't think anybody from this part of the world will ever forget where they were when they found out he died. Now, he died in Estonia doing exactly what he loved doing, riding motorbikes. Play the wee clip about it, Joey, or Justin.
Yeah, you were going to call me Joey there.
I was going to call you Joey.
I mean, how many times did he win the TT, Marty?
26.
That's some going. It was great when you were able as a wee lad to sit and watch it like that. Now you have got to be further back than that, don't you? I remember being in the pits class. Now I get into the pits media pass, but it's not the same. It's just not the same. Look at that there.
It's unreal.
This is legal in Ireland and the Isle of Man, by the way. The roads are closed for this, but it's hairy stuff. Like,
Johnny Dunlop wins.
That's the guts of 200 mile an hour there, isn't it?
Oh, easy. Oh,
yeah. It's unbelievable, Marty. Unbelievable.
If anybody doesn't know the story of these guys, watch a documentary narrated by Liam Neeson called Ride. Okay, if you've never seen road racing before, you wonder how on earth these guys do it. Joey Dunlop won 26 Isle of Man TTs, 24 Ulster Grand Prix, 13 wins at the Northwest 200. I mean, you go through all the stuff that he's done, it's just incredible. Why is he on a whiskey show? Well, this you can buy in Joey's bar, okay? It's a blended Scotch, £25 a bottle, and it goes to the foundation. Now, the foundation is you'll treasure and enjoy this unique collector's edition bottle of blended malt Scotch created especially for the Joey Dunlop Foundation to celebrate the 3rd anniversary of the opening of Braddon Bridge House, 30 years since Joey's first TT win for Honda. Braddon House is a place on the Isle of Man, self-catering accommodation for people with disabilities. It's set up and designed to let people come across and enjoy the TT and enjoy motorbike riding, enjoy a wee holiday, and accommodation that's designed for people with disabilities. Now, Joey, when he was alive, to give you an idea of the man, he was a legend round here. I mean, he just was known the world over, really. But he used to just fill up a transit van with goods with nappies and anything that people would donate, and set off in his van, drive to Romania, and just rock up to an orphanage or a hospital and just unload the van. They had no idea who he was. He never really told them he was coming. This is in the days before sat navs, right? He'd just take over, leave the stuff there, sleep in the van. He used to just sleep in the van, drive back again. I know a guy who was in England looking to come home and did a bit of, the old thumb. You don't see it so much now because everybody thinks you're a serial killer. But he used to hitchhike.
I don't have that problem. I'm the serial killer. No, not really.
Joey the lot could drive down, picked them up. It turned out, he lived not that far away, so Joey drove him all the way home, and he was just a gentleman, absolute gentleman. So, if you're ever in that neck of the woods, or you want to support a legend and a good cause, buy Joey the Lot, number 3 TT whiskey. Okay.
A great quote is in there about Joey Dunlop, Marty. It's a fantastic one. It says, best quote Joey ever said, there's a grey blur and a green blur, and I try to stay on the grey one.
The most self-effacing, just a genius, but the most self-effacing, down-to-earth, easygoing guy. I like half of Northern Ireland went to his funeral, and it was just incredible. So emotional, so moving. So if you ever get a chance, buy that there and support the foundation.
No. We've about 20 minutes left tonight. There's a lot to get through still.
Yeah.
And there's people like Frank Heron saying the Dunlop family have given so much. They have it, indeed.
Absolutely. Honestly, even if you don't care about motorbike racing or any of that kind of stuff, watch that documentary Ride about the family. And just unreal. Now,
there's actual details of it there on screen there. That's Internet Movie Database where you can get it, okay?
Yeah. Now, Brona at Listoke. There's only a week left. There's only a week left of the raffle to win 5% of the distillery, and the stock of the distillery has climbed up because Wise Oil Whiskey has just got 95 point on what do you call them? International Wine and Spirits Competition. 95 points, gold award, and you can still win for a £20 ticket a 5% share in her distillery.
Yep, there's the full details there on the screen, and she's going to do something special for us, isn't she?
No, Justin. She's already done something special for us just by being on the show. She's going to do something special for our viewers. So we're going to do another competition. Competition time, guys. Comment, like, or share on this video, and you win a chance of winning a sample bottle being sent out, and we'll do an online tasting in a few weeks' time.
Yes.
100 milliliter bottle she's going to send out to 25 people. Obviously, me and Justin both got one each. Okay, so 23 winners will get their thing. So share, comment, like. I'll get in touch with you during the week, and we'll get these bottles sent out to people. And in a couple of weeks' time, we'll do a tasting.
Yes. After the 12th, because obviously it's a public holiday here, and there's no post for a couple of days. So
it's a bit hard getting stuff across. But this is a really nice, very drinkable, very approachable, very easy, quite complex whiskey. And I quite like the branding on it. I like that kind of Art Deco. I like Wise Oil Whiskey. Wow. But
there it is. There, it's good. It always reminds me of the Late Show. They've also got a gin school down there, which I think is reopening as well. There you go. So there's only 2 weeks left. So the link's on the screen there. That's how you get it. Click on that link. That'll take you through, and you can be in with a chance. There you go.
Yeah. So as I say, comment on this, and get on it and share it. And if your friends get on, we can get whiskey, a couple of samples sent out to people, etc., etc. And a couple of weeks' time, we'll get a tasting done.
Now, Brim Len is saying, does comment on the YouTube enter me in the competition? It does, Brim. It does, but it only applies in the UK and Ireland, because obviously we can't post whiskey all around the world, and some places you wouldn't get it anyway if we posted a sample. So it's only UK and Ireland. We
have sent stuff before and it's got intercepted, so
yeah,
and it's a miracle. You send over stuff in the post, and for some reason the postal service in the US, these guys, they quite happily send over crisps and all that, but for some reason they don't take the whiskey. It just seems to disappear into the ether.
It does. It does.
It's an unreal. But no, congratulations to Brona on that down there. Well done for the whiskey and the gold medal. And yeah, and fingers crossed, guys. And fingers crossed for Brona that Justin doesn't win a 5% share, because then she'll not have to listen to him the way I do.
I know. I'm not going to win it. Don't you worry. I'm not going to win it. That wouldn't be. That wouldn't be your luck. That wouldn't be legit. I think we'd have a barrister from somewhere involved in that one. That would be the sort of thing. Oh, Brim Lemons in Belfast. There you go,
Good.
Brim. So you're in Belfast. Comment, like, and share. Tag your friends. If you're whiskey friends, tag us. It helps. You must be new. I haven't heard that name before. Have you? No.
He's maybe in disguise. Incognito. Justin.
Oh no! If we catch you on having multiple accounts to try and get it all for yourself.
No, Justin, we don't buy like some other people.
Yes, I know that. I know. There you go. The gin skills is a great day out. Yes, you don't have to do it now. You can do it at some time. It's going ballistic at the minute. I can't keep up with all the comments. There you go. Frank Hearn is saying, "A wee tasting would be nice. Please send me one." Oh yes, you don't have to beg. You don't have to beg. All you have to do is comment, like, and share, and tell your friends.
Brona's a lovely girl, and hopefully she gets the raffle sorted out, and the people that she says I'm in business with are pleasant and nice, and everything goes well for her. But no, congratulations again. Now,
he's a Keith Lemon. I'm a Lemon from Ballymena. Got to keep it incognito.
Ah, right.
Do you maybe do know him? Do you know? It's a Keith
Lemon. Put it like this: there's a big family of Lemons in Ballymena. Like when I say a big family, I mean hundreds of them, and they're all one family. So I grew up with some of the Lemons.
Peter Stewart moved from YouTube to Facebook to be able to share. No, if you below the Facebook thing, there's a little thing that says share as well there too. You can share from YouTube or Facebook, or copy and paste the link. Just help spread the word about it. It helps us help you. The more popular we get, the bigger the deals are going to get. Isn't that right, Marty?
That's it. And we don't forget our fans, Justin. We don't forget our fans.
No, we don't. Is he the elder Lemon? I don't know.
But like I said, there's a huge family of Lemons. So there is. Now, Justin, I'm going to do this on your behalf, really.
Right.
These ready to drink things. We've decided that we would have a wee rip up one of these on your behalf. You know I'm not a big fan of these cocktaily stuff, but I thought what we'll do is we'll go with everybody's favourite little distillery, or Killowen.
Yes.
And this is Blackberry Bramble Seltzer.
Now,
it's 100% vegan.
I like these sort of things. It's a weirdly textured can. It's I don't know what it is. It doesn't feel like a normal can. Maybe can you see that in my camera? Will it focus in? There's like texture to the can.
Yeah,
look at that there.
That actually feels quite nice. Now, it's a refreshing spritz of blackberry and gin. Not a huge ginny person. Distilled with carefully selected native botanicals from the heart of the Mourne Mountains in County Down, where old traditions and the finest natural resources are blended to produce world-class craft spirits.
1.3 units, Marty, and it doesn't feel like it.
5% ABV. Okay, right. Now I'm going to give this a go. I haven't tasted this before, Justin. Oh, fuck. Now, as somebody that likes stout and whiskey, this is Justin's area of expertise.
John Dunn's saying, "Don't do it, Marty."
I might turn to the dark side here.
Robert Gustafson's saying, "Don't turn to the dark side. Those are dangerous and hot days, I can tell you. They are." Now, I've been drinking that all night because it's quite warm here. Heating's on and it's hot. But that is a very refreshing drink. I like the understated blackberry. I didn't even know there was gin in it until you said, because I hadn't read the thing. That is beautiful, and it certainly is refreshing.
It wouldn't be my cup of tea, Justin, if I'm totally honest.
Is it too much of a cocktail? It's not a cocktail. It's a very pleasant drink. It's very, very inoffensive. Beautiful color to it. It's like pinky. You can't really see that because of my brown t-shirt and brown. It's pinky in color. You can't see it's pinky. I think it's beautiful.
It's all right. I'm not a Jan fan, so I can't really say a huge amount about it. But it doesn't taste very alcohol-y, if I'm honest.
Hey, but that's a good. I like a drink. It doesn't have to be alcoholic to be a good drink. You know?
No, but no, it's all right. It's relatively inoffensive. I just wouldn't buy that. It's definitely not something I would buy. That's the truth.
Okay, we're being asked a question. Graham Harner is saying, Michael is it Macy Jack Lisak, maybe Polish. He's saying, what is a seltzer? Now, what is a seltzer?
It's basically just a lemonade. It's something we fizz in it, is it not? There's maybe a technical difference.
The definition is sparkling water.
Yeah, that's what I thought. It's just something sparkly.
Yeah. And in Polish, it would be something like Birchie. Birchie would be a hard seltzer in Poland, or Fountain Craft hard seltzer. I'm trying to think. Hey, hold on a minute here. The translation in Polish is seltzer. Is seltzer?
So maybe seltzer's a Polish word.
It's woda sodowa. Woda seltzeria.
I love the Carrick Fergus accent. You know that would clear it up for them no end.
there it is in Polish. I'm going to put it on screen. Oh yes, Tony Sillett. That's guy called Magic. Yeah, that was the guy called Magic. He's been on before. He's actually quite good. That guy. He watches the show regularly. Magic. You'll have to. You're in Belfast. You'll have to get your name into the hat. You've got your name into the hat because you've commented on this. That's what it is. It is that. This is what it is in Polish. It is woda soda woda. It's Seltzeria. It sounds like. Listen, it's important to know if you go into a Polish bar and you order Seltzeria, you don't want to be accused of wearing a dress in a week's time. All right, like Tony Sillett says, wouldn't be a good idea. Now, listen, we've got 7 minutes left tonight. Remember to comment, like, and share if you want to enter the competition. We're going to try tonight the Killowen Dark Rum Mojito Seltzer. Now, this might be
more up my street. Probably not, but again, this is a dark rum mojito seltzer with Killowen small batch rum, which we've tried, and well, that's superb. Finest sugar and blackstrap molasses gathered from around the world and distilled in County Down, where old traditions and finds time. So it's 5%, 25ml can, 1.3 units. Listoke. Again, we all know I'm not a cocktaily man.
Wow. That's 1.3 units. 1.3 units. That's beautiful. I must tell Brenton, I got a lovely mint aroma off that when I was opening it, and actually it near ruined the keyboard again. That is beautiful stuff.
Now, the one thing I do say, I do like a bit of fizz. So I do like a bit of fizz whenever I'm drinking. Nothing that's refreshing. And this is probably not the ideal time to be drinking these. Okay, we're fully aware of that. But
oh, sorry, Magic. He says it sounds German and I'm Polish. Das ist, weil ich spreche ganz gut Deutsch, Magic. All right. So sorry about that. I'm not very good. Actually, when I was in Poland, I got told off for talking to German people in the little cafe we used to go to for breakfast. But anyway, be a good mixer with gin, and there's a reason for that, because in every street corner in Poland there's a little memorial to people that were murdered by the Nazis. So it's quite understandable. Okay, there you go, Magic. You get it good. You got it. You understood it. That's not too bad. I'm very good at making myself understood in foreign countries because I'm fat and people just put the food down in front of me and say, there you are. Sounds terrible. I'm going to have to go on a diet. But there you go. Everybody's laughing. It's a good mixer with gin. It would be a good mixer with gin, Shane. It would be.
But there's gin in it already. so you don't need,
but you cannot taste the gin in either of these, and you cannot taste the dark rum in this either at all.
Nah, that's
there is mint in it. There is mint. There's lime and mint in this one.
It's a mojito.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
Yeah, that is beautiful. That is beautiful.
You think?
Yeah, I do. I think that's fantastic. I think that's. Listen, you've got to innovate. You can't stand still. You cannot stand still.
Listen, we love Killowen. Everybody loves Killowen. That's just not for me, I'm afraid. But that's it. You can't please everybody. Okay. That's just not for me. Yeah, that's your kind of thing. I'll stick with the stout. Yeah.
All right. Listen, thanks everybody for comment, like, and sharing this week. There's Michael Linus saying hello. If we missed you out, always remember there's that many messages coming. They all don't make it to screen, especially if I can't decipher what they mean. So always sort of put your name and down it. There's Michael Matthews saying it's a Del Boy drink. Brendan, I thought he was more a trigger than a Del Boy.
No, Brendan's more a trigger. No. Brendan's more a Boise, I think, than anybody.
All right, yeah.
But no, as I say, those would be nice for people that like cocktails. Like a few ice cubes on a nice warm day, they would go down a treat, I'm sure. But yeah, but no, I'll stick with the stout. Justin, that's your area of expertise there, son.
You know what I'm going to have with us the minute we go off air?
Crisps.
Correct, Amondo. I've got vegetable crisps, and they're sitting out there in the balcony for me, and I'm going to look out over Belfast Lough and enjoy like this.
I'm going to go and celebrate England having won 3 or 4 World Cups there this evening, 2 or 3 pool championships, whatever, the World Series of baseball, the whole hype tonight.
I do not want to mention the England results because we will never hear the end of it if they win. Well, they're into the semi-finals now, aren't they? Yeah.
I done 2 tours the other day, and it was all English people on both of them, and I had to say to them, guys, I don't mind the English football team. I don't mind them. They're nice enough guys. They come across quite well, and they seem to be trying their best. But when you go back home to England, please write a petition to Gary Lineker and all them other guys. Please just get them to stop. Please get them to stop.
Well, the final score was 4-0. Yeah, 4-0. I actually seen in the half turnaround, because we have to do a bit before this. I seen the last goal and then the second goal, and it was pretty good. But the Ukraine looked like they give up. So this is a spoiler for you. If you're going to watch it later, a match of the day or on +1, there it is. Ukraine 0, England 4. Yes, and went the full time. No, there was no penalties at the end of it, was there? I don't think there was. No.
Oh, they don't need penalties whenever England's won 4-0.
No, I know that.
They've kind of done that. They kind of made sure that's done.
Finals on the 11th of July. There's magic. Have a good one. Yeah, slaunch it. Thank you to you. The English have won it before the Euros even started, as always. Yes.
But no, the players don't go on like that. The players come on and they're quite rational and thoughtful, and they say, we tried our best, we blah, 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 blah. It's the commentators. Most of the commentators bang on about 1966. They weren't even born. Some of them, their dads weren't even born, and they still bang on about it.
Hold on. I thought we have done this one. Peter Stewart's asking, will you be doing a review of the Bushmills finished in American Oak coming out this month? What one did we do?
Well, we didn't do the American Oak. We've done the Caribbean rum.
We did the Caribbean rum, yes.
Yeah,
we might do. We'll try and see. Thanks for asking, Peter.
I'll try and get... we'll try and see if we can get a review done. I've been lacking in reviews, but I've been working. I've been doing a bit of pieces. But if you do see the next reviews coming up, do comment on them on YouTube, because I really do appreciate it.
Thanks very much, everybody. And remember, if you want to go on a trip, it's buymeacoffee/Irish Whiskey and sign up to become a full member. There will be a trip. I can assure you there will be a trip. It's just, we've been even looking at a trip further afield, but it's just one of those things. It's COVID. It's not enjoyable wearing a mask all the time.
And it's really not enjoyable taking down a half-empty bus and going somewhere where, Echlinville, Bushmills, they have no plans to reopen at the minute. So you're sort of limited on where you can go. You're limited in the numbers you can go. Everybody has to wear masks, and if you're guiding, we're supposed to have PCR or lateral flow tests. I've wanted to take. Me and Justin both have lateral flow tests to take tomorrow because we're both working on Monday. So it's just not practical for a fun day out at the minute for us guys. Okay.
All right. Listen, great show tonight. Thank you very much. All right. Night. Yep. All right.
Take care, guys.
Yep. Magic will do. Dingle single malt as well. One night as well. All right. Night, everybody.